Well, what is an earthquake and what are its causes? Is it possible to predict? How do we measure them? Find these answers and much more in this new episode of Landscape Stories. In this video, you will learn a little bit more about this interesting and terrifying Earth event, the earthquake. I will make a brief introduction about what exactly is an earthquake, its causes, and how can we record them. Then we will learn how can we discover its location and if it is possible to predict the next event. So stay with us because today our video will rock your entire world. Folks, imagine Earth as a huge puzzle where the pieces don't fit perfectly. These pieces are tectonic plates floating on Earth's mantle, right? Now and then these plates move, sliding, colliding, pulling apart along what we call fault lines. It's a bit like trying to slide past someone in a packed hallway. Eventually, you're going to bump into each other because there's just not enough space. An earthquake is basically what happens when two of these plates decide they have had enough of the tension and slip past one another. So the point underground where this slip starts, it's called the hypocenter. And directly above it on the surface is the epicenter, the ground zero for the quake action. Before the main quake, there might be smaller shakes known as foreshocks, sort of a heads up that something bigger is coming. But scientists can't label them as such until the big one, the main shock, hits. And after that, the ground might still throw some aftershocks, which are like the Earth trying to find its new normal. The reason behind this ground drama? The plates are always on the move but get stuck at the edges due to friction. When the stress from this friction overpower the stuck point, it's like the snap of a released spring, and energy waves shoot out, shaking the ground. Depending on how stuck those plates were and how suddenly they moved, that's how strong the quake felt. Activity from significant earthquakes sends waves throughout the Earth, which serve as a diagnostic tool for understanding its internal structure. These waves alter the path when traversing different layers, akin to light refracting through a prism, a phenomenon that can be analyzed to discern variation in density and composition at various depths. By measuring the travel times of these seismic waves, geologists can infer the presence of distinct layers within the Earth, each characterized by its unique material properties. The Earth's outermost shell, the crust, is relatively thin, with varying thickness across continents and oceans, and composed of a diversity of rocks. Below it, the mantle extends deep, made up of dense silicate materials but exhibiting both solid and fluid-like properties over long timescale, as indicated by the flow of rock in convection currents or convection cells. The core, beginning around 2,900 kilometers below the surface, it's primarily iron, creating a seismic shadow zone that reveals its existence and liquid outer segment, deduced from the behavior of seismic waves and their inability to pass through certain regions. We can use all the knowledge about the Earth interior to understand how we record and locate earthquakes. To record earthquake, we use seismographs. This device consists of a firm grounded base and a freely suspended weight. During an earthquake, the ground's movements causes the base to vibrate while the weight, suspended by a spring or string, remains relatively stationary. This movement discrepancy uh, between the base and the weight is precisely what the seismograph captures and records. The magnitude of an earthquake, which reflects its size, is determined not by direct measurements or of the fault due to its depth below the Earth's surface, but through analyzing seismograms data recorded by seismographs on the Earth's surface. While each earthquake has a single magnitude indicating its overall size, the intensity of the shaking experience can vary depending on one's location relative to the epicenter, highlighting the distinction between the concepts of magnitude and intensity in seismology. So, to figure out exactly where an earthquake kicked it off, scientists play a bit of detective game, call it triangulation. Think of it like using three clues to solve a mystery. They need three seismographs scattered around. If they draw a big circle from each seismograph to how far away they reckon the quake happening, where all three circles meet up, then that's the epicenter, or ground zero of the earthquake. It's like using three guesses to nail down the exact spot. Long story short, is it possible to predict? No, predicting earthquakes remains beyond our reach, and it's unlikely that will change. Despite numerous attempts using various methods, scientists have not cracked the code on earthquake prediction. They understand that a fault will eventually cause another earthquake, but determining the exact timing remains elusive. And that's it, folks. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. And if you are fascinated by how our planet is shaped by forces unseen, check our previous video right here. Give us a thumbs up, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Landscape Stories. And please let us know what mysteries of our planet captivated you. Share your thoughts and suggestions for future exploration in the comments below. Your curiosity might just be our next adventure. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay curious.